Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golden MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting Michael Bullock. If he comes in, great. If he doesn't, then we'll see him tomorrow night for Strictly Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a dawning of a new era. What we're going to be doing tonight and what we're going to be doing in the future is a little different. As many of you guys know, normally we would start with AEW Dynamite, then followed by NXT. However, based off what is going to happen for the time being, NXT has been moved to Tuesday nights to make way for the NHL on USA once everything comes down, because very soon, unfortunately, we're going to lose the NBC Sports Network in the summer, or I think either late summer, early fall. We're going to lose the NBC Sports Network. Therefore, all NHL games will be moving to USA, possibly. We don't know if that's going to be at, starting, near the Stanley Cup playoffs or maybe the next season. And it all hinges actually on if there is going to be an NHL on USA, if the NHL remains with NBC Universal. As you know, they did strike a deal with ESPN for part of the package. There is another part of the package that is up for grabs as of right now. So we don't know if they're going to get all of it or some of it, or if NBC is going to keep the second part of the package, or if another network like a Fox, like a CBS, will they jump in? Will Disney will Disney and ESPN want to get all of it, the whole package? We won't know. We're just going to have to wait and find out. But whatever the case may be, for the time being now, the NBC will have the NHL, and they're moving everything on Wednesday night for hockey on the USA Network. Therefore, the WWE decided to move NXT to Tuesday night. Great for us. That means wrestling every night. So we're going to start out with NXT first. AEW will be second, and we'll be done with for the night. So, with that said, we started it off. Tonight. First off, we started with the new NXT champion, Karrion Kross, cutting a promo, and I gotta say it, man. He did really good with this. This was a very good promo, very strong by Kross, and it was definitely it was fitting of a world champion. Let's say that. He got his big moment when he won the NXT title at Stand and Deliver in the main event of Stand and Deliver, the NXT TakeOver show on Peacock. That was on Thursday night, during WrestleMania week. And my God, what a way to do it. Very, very strong promo by the new champion. There's really nothing more to say. So, Anthony Florio, it's yours. I thought Karrion Kross delivered really well. What a way to make a statement as the new NXT champ.
Yes, sir. He put the black and gold brand on notice. That's exactly what he did. And, it came out really good. A great way to start off the Tuesday night era of NXT. And, man, very, very well done here. No question about that. Now, I'm not going to say it was the segment of the night or anything, but there are going to be some nitpicks, unfortunately. This promo showed one of NXT's biggest problems. Kross has been built as a monster who lets his actions and Scarlet speak for him. When he has spoken in the past, his words drip with malice. He only said what he needed to say. He has talent on the mic, but not with this much standard WWE scripting. His first words since becoming the top guy in NXT made him sound like just another superstar. He threw out a few signature catchphrases and put himself over as the hungriest man in the hungriest locker room. He especially seemed uncertain how to deal with a few loud fans. NXT is built so much on the performances over the characters. Cross has been established more as a Raw or SmackDown figure than one made for the Black and Gold brand. If NXT continues to script him like this, the company will lose the spark that makes the Herald of Doomsday unique. I mean, it was fine, but, I had to get those little nitpicks off my chest. So, but it was fine, though. That's all I can say about that. Solid way to start it. So, not much more to say. MF, enough talking. Let's get into some action.
Well, we started off with the first fight of the night, which was the new NXT World Tag Team Champions, MSK, and they had to go right to work, putting the titles on the line against Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. And when it was all said and done, MSK successfully defended the titles, winning it at 7 minutes and 12 seconds. But Anthony, that celebration was short-lived because a certain team from NXT UK has staked their claim to be the next guys in line for the titles. And oh boy, look who it is.
Yeah, they want their belts back. That's Imperium. Fabian Eichner, Marcel Bartel. And despite the potential of this matchup, let me get to the match first. Despite the potential of this matchup, it was no better than the first match together. Lee and Carter continue to pull impressive high-flying offense in every match, but it doesn't land as well without a capable heel team to work off them. Still, for a random NXT title defense, this was more than good enough. It was fun action between capable teams, with MSK building more momentum without taking away from the potential threat of Dane and Maverick as an odd pairing that worked well together. Probably about 3 stars for the effort. Dane and Maverick versus Imperium could be interesting. Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel deserve more opportunities than they have been given lately, beyond backing up the longest champion in the company today, and that's Walter. 2 years and counting as NXT UK champion. Amazing. So, not much more to say here. Solid 3 stars for the effort. So MF, not a bad first defense for our old friends from Impact.
No doubt about it. Not a bad defense, and yeah, that was solid. It was good. It was 3 stars, no doubt about it. So we're gonna move right on along. Next up, we had was Mercedes Martinez versus Jessie Camille. Mercedes Martinez wins it in a $152. I think we can pretty much toss this one out to the side because of the fact that with everything that happened on that match, it was basically Mercedes staking her claim that she wants a shot at the newly crowned NXT Women's Champion. What a matchup Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez would be. That would be that's good. That would be something else. That would be one hell of a fight for the title, man. That'd be like Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, or Mickie James versus Trish Stratus at a WrestleMania. 2 really good professional wrestlers going at it for the title. Yes, sign me up for that. I would take that any day of the week. So next up we had was Santos Escobar putting the Cruiserweight Championship on the line against Kushida, winner of the bout, in 11 minutes and 26 seconds. And new NXT Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Kushida, winning the title. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. What an upset. What a shocker. The CWC went bonkers. I literally lost it. Yes, I was bouncing like freaking Tigger in my room because I was marking out my boy Kushida, man. One of the best from New Japan Pro Wrestling, former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion of the World, is now the Cruiserweight Champion of the World of NXT. What a matchup. What a battle. 3 to 3.5 stars. I was, like I said, going into this, you're thinking, maybe Santos Escobar gets a win here because of the fact, he just got off the biggest win of his career, and they literally pulled the rug out from under him. Transitional champion. And now Kushida, my man from Japan, is the Cruiserweight Champion of the world. I'm excited, man. And he already might have a contender with Jordan Devlin. Devlin wasn't impressed with the way that Kushida won the title. He was kind of condescending about his win. But, well, too bad, Devlin. You couldn't win it on Stand and Deliver. Now my boy's got the gold. Suck it up, Buttercup, is what I say about that. But, dude, I'm pumped. I'm psyched. My boy Kushida, the time splitter. He went back in time and he pulled away the Cruiserweight Championship of the world, Anthony Florio. I cannot believe it. I'm pumped. History was made last night at the CWC. My boy Kushida, the Cruiserweight Champion of the world.
I know how I immediately thought of you, MF. I mean, you followed Kushida's career longer than any of us, and I know you. This was probably his biggest win since those 6 times where he was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. I know you know all about that, and oh my word, a pleasant surprise to say the very least. Santos Escobar's reign ends at 320 days, and win-win for everybody. For me, I got to call this the fight of the night. I'm gonna give this about 3.5 stars for the effort. This was a complete shock. After doing so much to establish Santos Escobar as the one and only Cruiserweight Champion of the world, Kushida arrives to knock him down a peg, adding a true surprise to the night elevated the show as a whole. While Escobar was a great champion, he was running low on challengers. The division just got the bold restart it needed. The former champion is on the hunt. Jordan Devlin has also staked his claim. There are many great matches now in store. The match was good, though it felt like they did not quite hit their highest gear. These two have a great match in store down the line. But a great moment nonetheless. History made, as MF and Gorilla would say, and what a big surprise, and a pleasant surprise to say the very least. So not much more to say on this. 3.5 stars for me. I got to call this the fight of the night. So there's not really much more to say. MF, you said it. History made, and now Kushida can add another belt to his championship belt collection to go with the 6 reigns he had as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So congratulations, Kushida. Well done. MF, Marty McFly has just gone back in time, and he didn't even need a DeLorean to do it.
Yeah, this was awesome. Next up we had Dakota Kai. She introduces the new NXT champion, Raquel Gonzalez, and it was a cool scene. Raquel cuts a promo, and it was fine for what it was worth, but then we got magic, is what we'll say after that. This Is My Brutality hits. We know that song. I don't think we could have believed who was about to come out, but yes, it was the new Raw Women's Champion of WWE, the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley. She shows up, and there was a cool moment between Raquel and Rhea, and then all of a sudden, we got another interruption. The new SmackDown Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, shows up. And now you're thinking, oh my freaking God, this is insane. The Raw Women's Champion, the SmackDown Women's Champion, the NXT Women's Champion, all in the ring, all at the same time. It is very rare for a moment like that to happen. And these 3 are very close-knit. They all came together. really at the same time from the same class of NXT. There was a beautiful picture, a portrait right behind them on that screen that had all three of them together. You want to talk about started from the bottom, now we're here. Anthony Florio, what a moment. Highlight of the night. And maybe this is the future of WWE, what we just saw right before our very eyes. And if that's the case, WWE, you got a wonderful future with these three ladies as the representation of your women's division.
I think Derek Ferreira said it best on his Facebook. The minute this went down last night, saying something about maybe one day the three of them could end up possibly headlining a WrestleMania. I mean, what a moment that would be. I mean, he absolutely said it spot on. And kudos to Derek Ferreira for that. And bear with me as I pull up his post from last night. I mean, he said it best. He said, "Wouldn't shock me if we see these three headlining a WrestleMania in a triple threat match in the very near future." That's exactly what he said. And it was awesome to see Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair together with Raquel Gonzalez standing as champions. The three women got their start in the Mae Young Classic and have never looked back. For the long-term story, Frankie Monet, Taya Valkyrie, she arrived. She has been one of the best female wrestlers outside of WWE for the past few years. Her arrival only solidifies how talented the NXT women's division is. While she and Gonzalez should not immediately clash, they can do something special when they do. Man, I mean, you got those three champions right there. You have, once upon a time, the longest reigning Knockouts champion in Impact history with Taya Valkyrie, 370 days. And, man, her and Gonzalez, that would be a hell of a fun match if it ever happens. I know it's not going to be right away, but we'll see. But seeing those three together, it kind of reminded me of December of 2011 on the men's side, that Monday Night Raw. You remember that Monday Night Raw in Philadelphia when Zack Ryder came out as the United States Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Bryan came out as the World Heavyweight Champion, and CM Punk came out as the WWE Champion. Three IWC darlings were the three biggest stars at that moment, and that's a moment that we'll never forget. And it was almost like that moment only with the women. So absolutely incredible. So that's definitely a moment that we'll never forget for as long as we live. And it's like what MF said on that legendary Strictly Sports show, June 7th to 13th. It was a night to remember, a moment to remember, and that's definitely a moment that we're going to be talking about for many, many years to come. So remember where you were on that night when you saw that special moment. So that was definitely the segment of the night. No question about it. And MF, now that Taya Valkyrie is in that division, like JR would say, business has picked up in the women's division.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, Frankie Monet, I mean, I get it. You don't want to use their actual names. I don't know. I don't know if I really like the name here, though. But that's just me personally.
I don't like the name either.
I'm not
very WWE and PG.
Yeah, but I like the gimmick. I think the gimmick will go through. And a lot of people were saying, well, it kind of has a feeling, or it has and a lot of people felt like that the Frankie Monet had a little bit of like a Tori Wilson type look. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of the Tori Wilson vibe. I definitely get it with the dog and everything else, but don't judge a book by its cover, man. She is, without a doubt, one of the best female wrestlers in the world today. And if you have not seen Taya Valkyrie in the ring, I'm telling you guys, she tears it up. She tears the place apart. And she is pretty damn good wherever she wrestles. So without a doubt, it was a great move. It's a great decision. And like you said, am I fully invested in the fact that she's here? Well, I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. But it was definitely a great, a big moment, no doubt about it. So right after that, next up on the show, we had a lot of big news. Oh, we need to get into this. So right after that, we had is this what I want to talk about for the big moment here? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I had to backtrack a little bit, guys, which I have to apologize because there was a moment I wanted to get into, and that was Roderick Strong. So he goes in to meet with William Regal. He gives him an envelope. I'm done. Regal looks at him. He's like, are you sure? Is this what you exactly... Is this your decision? Is this your final decision? Roddy pretty much agreed. He said, yeah. I'm going. I'm out, man. There's nothing. I'm done. He was with his, I guess, girlfriend, wife, Marina Shafir. William Regal said, well, it's unfortunate, but you always know that the door is always open for you. You know, you're always welcome back to to NXT whenever you want. What does that mean? Now, a lot of people are already saying, oh my God, he's going to the main roster, and already everybody is linking him to SmackDown. I would love to get Roderick Strong on SmackDown Live. That would be a humongous get for us. And let me tell you, it would fit his narrative. There would be great matches. Seth Rollins, Cesaro, Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, Edge. I mean, Jey Uso. I mean, already I'm thinking of the matches he could have with some of those guys. And plus, Roderick Strong is wrestling centric. A lot of those guys I named are really good wrestling centric type guys. So I think Roderick Strong would be an absolute dime piece for SmackDown Live. Anthony Florio, give me your thoughts. I know this stunned you like it stunned me. Roderick Strong giving his walking papers to William Regal, possible call up to the main roster.
I think that's exactly what it is. A lot of dirt sheets have come out regarding this, and there is now speculation on Roderick Strong possibly going to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Last night on NXT featured a segment where Strong and his wife Marina Shafir, they went into Regal's office and said he was done, and Regal admitted that Strong gave him trouble at times with the Undisputed Era, but said he is a consummate professional and is welcome back to NXT anytime. And WWE later noted that Strong has officially resigned from NXT. And let's not forget, folks, WWE often calls wrestlers to the main roster around this time of the year. Unfortunately, this past Monday night on Raw, we did not see that. Maybe Friday on SmackDown, maybe we will. I don't know. We'll see. But WWE often calls wrestlers to the main roster at this time of the year. But there is no word on if Strong is headed to the blue or red brand. The veteran pro wrestler has been with WWE since October of 2016. Shafir signed in May of 2018, but has not had much of an in-ring career other than being a lackey for Shayna Baszler along with Jessamyn Duke as part of the Four Horsewomen of MMA and Ronda Rousey. But But stay tuned for more on what WWE has planned for Roderick Strong and Marina Shafir. So I think he's definitely going to the main roster, MF, and he'd be a great fit on either show. I mean, think of the matches he could have on Raw. Him and Drew McIntyre. That would be hella fun. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Or maybe with Sheamus, or imagine him and AJ Styles throwing down someday. Or Kofi Kingston. I mean, those would be some fun. Or maybe even Sheamus, if they wanted to. Or Riddle. Or maybe even the champ himself, Bobby Lashley. I'm surprised you didn't mention Roman in there on your end. But still, I mean, wherever he goes, he's going to be a major asset. And business will definitely pick up whichever brand he signs on. Me, I'm pushing for Raw myself, but it's been a while since SmackDown got, a major coup. So maybe SmackDown, maybe he could be SmackDown bound. And I know MF would welcome him with open arms. I know MF's followed his career a lot longer than I have. I mean, he's been in other promotions, so we'll see what happens. So may the best man win in this case, MF. Whoever ends up getting him, major asset, no matter where he goes.
So with that said, we're just going to move right on along. It was Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff, and Isaiah Scott wins the match in 7 minutes and 31 seconds. Look, good win for him. He needed that. I'm going to give this about 2 3/4 to 3 stars. Solid match. Really nothing more to add here, Anthony. So I thought good, solid fight, and yeah, it's yours.
Yeah, good solid match here. This was about a 3 to 3.25 star match. This was a great near end of this rivalry. Both men fought hard, and the near falls in this bout sold that either man could win. It was exciting and easily the strongest match on the show. It took a while, but Swerve is finally building momentum as a heel. Hopefully he gets even more once this rivalry is over. He and Leon Ruff have looked great together and deserve an NXT main event for their final fight. Either Swerve will finally put an end to this feud with Ruff, or the new attitude shown by the latter backstage could be a sign that these two could reconcile and become an exciting heel tag team together. I don't know. We'll see. But 3 to 3.25 stars for me. So not really much more to say except MF. Unless there's any other order of business, we're going to get into perhaps the most unique main event in NXT history.
Yeah, this was an 8-person tag team match in the main event. We had The Way, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, and Austin Theory, and they went up against the team of Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, and the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. The face team won the match by the final time of 10 minutes and 34 seconds. And Anthony, this match was all over the place. I mean, we had absolute insanity. We had Dexter Lumis whisking away Indy Hartwell, where she literally got her wish. I guess she's been lusting, and I mean lusting, over Dexter Lumis for a long time. Well, she got her wish. She got whisked away in the arms of her man. And I think the smile on her face said the whole story on that one. Floyo, it's yours.
At that particular moment, I think we needed to cue the Dixie Chicks' big hit, Cowboy Take Me Away. Because that's what it was. Cowboy Take Me Away. That's what it was. Cowboy. Yeah, that's her cowboy right there. That was like a beautiful young cowgirl looking for her cowboy, her man. And, you know, it's one of these ridiculous but fun love stories. I mean, I had to do it. I mean, that's what I thought of. That's what I thought of when I saw this going down. I mean, that song immediately popped into my head for some odd reason. I don't know how or why, but it did.
Well
Yeah,
played. Well
Cowboy,
played.
take me away, boys. Cowboy, take me away, man. That's exactly what it was. She wanted her cowboy to take her away, and you did just that. So, oh boy. But all kidding aside, I mean, this was a ridiculous but fun main event for the night. Bronson Reed worked really well off of Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, and Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae's equal inability to slow the Colossal put him over in a major way. Indy Hartwell got what she wanted, showing that the way was too dysfunctional to actually pull out a win. Bronson Reed got a big win over Gargano that should set him up for a rematch soon for the NXT North American Championship. It'll be interesting to see what becomes of the way after a night that is certain to break the group's confidence. And you noticed, I mean, the minute that Dexter picked her up, and yeah, there she was, and you saw the look. You saw that. She was like, "Oh yeah," that's what she was like, and man, yep. I think that song was definitely popping into her pretty little mind. She was like, "Cowboy, take me away, fly this girl as high as you can into the wild blue. Set me free, oh I pray, closer to heaven above and closer to you." That's what she's thinking right now. So, yep, Cowboy, take me away indeed. So, that's definitely the song that was going through my head at that particular moment. So, 3 to 3 and a quarter once again. So MF, this was an MF special because I mean I call it an MF special because MF loves these, these quirky, over the top kind of fights. It's not going to be for everybody. It kind of wasn't for me, even though there were some fun elements to it. But this was an MF special because it was ridiculous. It was a little over the top. I know you like that at times, MF. You get a little chuckle out of it, and but of course, the what's going to most be remembered is not going to be the outcome. It's going to be Dexter Loomis and Indy Hartwell, or as they're calling them, Index.
Index. Yes.
Index.
The Index ship has sailed and they are off to the sunset. That's all you need to know.
Yes, with a sunset. Absolutely. I mean, that's a perfect song for that. So not much more to say. MF, she wanted her man. Indy wanted her man. She wanted her cowboy. He took her away.
She got it. Yeah. It was a fun little main event. It was definitely a little bit of a moment there. Two moments that really stood out to me. One, Candice LeRae trying to do some kind of high cross body move on Bronson Reed and Regis. You want to talk about fly hitting the window? Splat. That was one of those moments. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then yes, the Dexter and Indy moment. All day I've been reading articles how it's compared to Kane and AJ Lee back on Monday Night Raw all those years ago. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those type of moments where you're just like, it works. I like it. I'm cool with it. I don't mind it. It's all good. Good way to close this show. Yeah, it was an entertaining NXT. You know what? I guess I'll lead off on final thoughts. And yeah, I thought it was a good show. I'll give this about 7.5 out of 10. There was a couple of moments that weren't really too great, but there's really nothing more to add here, Anthony. So it's all yours. At least for the first night on Tuesday night, NXT did really well. I thought they held their own. Nice spot for them.
What did you give it again?
7.5.
7.5. All right. Yeah, that's about right. 7.5, maybe teetering on 8. I mean, now granted, it wasn't the greatest show, but it was a very interesting first night, to say the very least, and I mean, that the main event, obviously, but where's my notes here? All right. it was a really good way to kick off the Tuesday night era of NXT. We got a big title change with Kushida winning the Cruiserweight title, the debut of Frankie Monet, Taya Valkyrie, whatever you want to call her. Big celebratory moment for the NXT women with Gonzalez, Belair, and Ripley. A segment that will be forever remembered into the annals of time. Some very good wrestling and a fun, chaotic main event. Like I said, it wasn't a perfect show, but it's really just nitpicking for the most part. But all in all, great stuff. Solid 8 out of 10 for me. So not much more to say. MF, let's get into what was a taped edition of AEW that was taped last Thursday.
Yeah, so this was the first show that they had, and we started it off with the big one. It was the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. The Young Bucks versus Pac and Phoenix of the Death Triangle. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout, 23 minutes, 22 seconds, and still the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks. Anthony Florio, wow, is the key word I will say about this match.
There isn't much to say on this, MF, except I think we're both going to be in agreement on this. This was the fight of the night. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt about it. This was the first of the 3 big main events that was being promoted for this show here tonight. The first AEW unopposed by NXT. And they started off with a major bang. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Anytime you hear the Young Bucks, Pac, and Rey Fenix in the same match, you can expect something special. This was no different. The cocky, arrogant Bucks are just better than the undefined baby faces that floated into and out of tweener roles as desired. They seem to relish in the opportunity to embrace their heel selves and be the unlikable bad guys they have not yet had the opportunity to be since the inception of AEW. Phoenix was great, as was Pac, and the finish was a creative way to put over the new personas of the champions in a big title bout. This was the perfect way to kick off the show and follow up last week's less than perfectly executed show closing angle. The end. No, I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars because I mean, it wasn't like there was over the top cheating or chicanery. It was just the simple fact that that the Bucks pulled the biggest no-no anybody could pull in the world of lucha libre wrestling. He pulled Rey Fenix's mask off. And if I know good old MF Michael Fletcher like I know him, like I've known him for 27 years, I can bet you a sure shooting he was ready to go into cerebral viper mode because I know how seriously he takes the mask the tradition of the mask in lucha libre wrestling, which he knows more of than I do. But I heard Excalibur say on the broadcast, he said that it would be a disqualification in Mexico. And I know MF's going to be chomping at the bits to get into that. But all his 96, 97 JR knowledge. But that little small thing aside, that match was just too damn good. I'm pulling the trigger. I'm giving this 4.5 stars. This was the fight of the night, hands down. And not much more to say. MF, he pulled Rey Fenix's mask off. In the immortal words of your boy Stephen A, disrespectful.
Yeah, Excalibur made my point. Yes, in Mexico, that is a cardinal sin. That's a major sin. If you ever did a stunt like that, you better hope and pray you make it out of Mexico alive because they kill you for that. That's how dangerous that is. You ever did a stunt like that, Florio, you're not making it out of Mexico alive. That is, without a doubt, that's the ultimate disgrace that you can ever do in Mexico is pulling the mask off a luchador. That is a major no-no. That's a major high crime. It's without a doubt the most dishonorable thing that you can do. It's the most disgraceful thing you can ever do. And for the Bucks to do it, if you want nuclear heat, brothers, you got the nuclear heat. Because I was flipping out pissed when I saw this. I was like, you know what? I hated the Young Bucks, and I did not care too much about them back in the day when they were the heels. Now you just made me dislike you even more by pulling that stunt tonight. You thought I was angry with the Bucks then. I'm furious with the Bucks now, and I'll never forget what they just did tonight. Yes, it's a 4.5-star match. This was an incredible match, but to get over that way, and that's a heel like tactic. I get it, no problem. That's cool. I'll let you live for that. But boys, you pissed me off on this one. And yeah, Floyd, you damn right. I was going Cerebral Viper mode. I was flipping when that happened. I was not happy. In the immortal words of a few of myself, I was spitting kittens, to say the very least. So nothing more to say. We'll just move right on along. Next up, we had was Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. Jade Cargill wins the match in 7 minutes and 39 seconds. Good match. Very good matchup. Very good fight. This was actually building up for a little while, as you guys know. This started off. Well, this was supposed to have been Brandy Rhodes versus Jade Cargill. But the thing was, when Brandy got pregnant with the baby, with her daughter, well, she's still pregnant. She hasn't had the baby yet. I think it's gonna be sometime I think they said in the summer she's supposed to have the baby. But after that, Red Velvet stepped up. She teamed with Cody Rhodes, and it was Red Velvet and Cody versus Jade Cargill and Shaquille O'Neal. So when they had the match, Jade and Shaquille won the match. But if you notice, Red Velvet and Jade Cargill never really settled the score. And if you've been watching, especially Elevation and Dark, there's been some animosity between these two women. And they've been going at it week after week. And now tonight, we get the culmination, the explosion, as we would say. And Jade Cargill gets a big win. Huge win for her. But give credit where credit's due to Red Velvet. She looked really good, even though it was in a losing effort. To me, this was a solid 3-star fight. I mean, there's really nothing more for me to add, Anthony. It is yours. Jade Cargill gets a huge win. 3 stars for me.
I'll meet you in the middle. 2.5 to 3 for me. This was a really solidly booked match. Red Velvet was the energetic underdog, throwing everything she had at Jade Cargill, but in the end, the uber athletic heel simply outlasted her and used her strength to put the babyface away. It was not overly complicated. It flowed well, and the result was a better match than some may have expected. I know that goes for me. I had very low expectations going into this, but they definitely surpassed them. Kudos to whoever put it together with the performers, because the match was exactly what it should have been. Where this leaves Red Velvet now, and if she continues to chase the win over her rival, remains to be seen. But I'm right there with you, MF. 2.5 to 3 stars, no question about it. Women's division, we've been giving a lot of praise to the women's division as of late. Ever since that Eliminator tournament, that's really where the turnaround for this began. Because for the longest time, we have been poo-pooing all over this division because they were putting on what we considered ho-hum diva fights, and this match here was not a ho-hum diva fight. And slowly but surely, it's getting better. And wait till you hear what we have in store for next week. I mean, it's going to be it's probably going to be the most anticipated women's match probably since Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa's epic Lights Out match. Next week, MF, we're going to see Hikaru Shida defending the AEW women's title against Ty Conti. We're getting that next week. And that's going to be LIVE. That ain't going to be no tape stuff. That's going to be LIVE all the way live. So if we're going to take this women's division, if we're going to continue to take this division seriously, I mean, they got to give us another banger of a match. And what those two beauties can do, I got a good feeling about that next week. I really do. And I'm even going to go on the record and say I think Tay Conti's going to win the title. That's just how I feel. So
I would love if Tay wins it, man. I've been very high on her for a little while now.
Goodbye.
I've been seeing her on Elevation. I've been seeing her on Dark. She's just getting better and better week in and week out. But Sheeta's no joke, man. She's one of the best in the game. So I mean, if Conti can do it, man, what a way for the Dark Order, because she is kind of an honorary member of the Dark Order because of her connection with Anna Jay. And if she can pull it off, and she's got the blessing of -1 because he's been with her the whole way through. What a moment for her if she can pull it off and win the title next week.
And I'll tell you what, MF. One other quick point before I give it back to you, and that is, I realized the potential and the talent that Tay Conti had when she was in the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
So I followed her just a smidgen longer than you have, because of my religious following of the Mae Young Classic, which I watched both of religiously.
Yes.
And they both went down. So, and if they ever do another one, you better believe I will watch that religiously as well.
Oh yeah.
So there's no question about it. So but anyways, this match with Velvet and Cargill, 2.5 to 3. It's definitely going to shoot Cargill up the rankings. No question about that. That'll put her in line for a future shot somewhere down the road. But for right now, next week, MF, Sheeta, Conti, title match, LIVE all the way live next week.
We had Anthony Ogogo versus Cole Carter. Anthony Ogogo won the match in 23 seconds. We're not getting into that. Pass. Next up, we had Chris Jericho versus Dax Harwood. And it was Chris Jericho winning the match in 13 minutes and 20 seconds. I believe, Anthony, you lead off. So it's yours, man. Jericho winner, 13-20.
Yeah. This was the second of the 3 big main events that was heavily promoted for this show, and not as good as the first one, but this was not as great a match as you would have expected from 2 guys of Jericho and Harwood's abilities, but it was perfectly acceptable wrestling though, and that will always be appreciated. So I will give this about 3.25 to 3.5. I mean, the finish was wild and chaotic, something you would expect from a rivalry of this intensity, while Mike Tyson's appearance paid off with one good shot to Wheeler. It did nothing to really advance the story, but did keep the program at the forefront of AEW programming, ahead of what will be the most anticipated AEW match in history in 3 weeks, May 5th, Blood and Guts, and that's all it needed to do. So I will give this about 3.25, maybe 3.5. But, a very fun match there to say the least. And after the match, MF, Chris Jericho made Mike Tyson an honorary member of the Inner Circle.
Yes, he did. 3.25 stars, no doubt about it. A solid fight, good battle. Like you said, it kind of was more for the Blood and Guts. It's for their pay-per-view match. So nothing more to add there. So we're just going to move right on along, Anthony. Next up we had was Chris Statlander against Ember Nova. Chris Statlander, the Alien, wins the match in 2 minutes and 38 seconds. All right, this was a good showcase fight. This was her first match back from the injury. We already saw her come back in a fanatic way. Everybody remembers the Anarchy Arcade match. And what she did by putting super bad Penelope Ford through a table, through the I guess you could say it was the hockey table. Put her through the hockey table, and we saw a little piece of that. But this was more of a match for her just to get her feet wet back into action. But you kind of have a feeling that now that she's aligned with the best friends, Orange Cassidy, Trent, and Chucky T, that you kind of got a feeling that Penelope Ford, Miro, and Kip Sabian are probably not that far behind, and we might have ourselves an interesting 6-person tag coming down the pipe very, very, very soon. So we'll see how that plays out. Then we had a little bit of a promo by Tony Schiavone with Christian Cage. Taz came out to try to offer him a member of Team Taz. I don't think Christian said. I think Christian said no to that. So we'll wait and see how that happens, how that plays out. Main event of the evening: Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy. Falls Count Anywhere. TNT title on the line. Darby Allin wins the match in 16:27, and he is still the TNT champion. Anthony, thoughts on the main event?
Before I do, as far as that whole thing goes with Christian Cage and Team Taz, he did say no, and then Christian ended up getting the hell beat out of him by Powerhouse Hobbs. I mean, Powerhouse Will Hobbs absolutely went to town on Captain Charisma, and it's because of that Tony Khan said, next week you two go at it. So next week, another big main event for the show next week. Christian Cage will go one-on-one with Powerhouse Will Hobbs. So that should be a very interesting match. So can't wait to see how that turns out. But as far as this is concerned, this was the third and final major main event that was promoted. This was the second best fight of the night for me. I'm going to give this 3 3/4 to 4 stars. As wild, chaotic arena brawls go, this was a hell of a lot of fun. From the Hardy family office being driven to the locker room by Dark Order and Sting, to the high spots and that jaw-dropping finish where Darby Allin climbs on top of this scaffold and then does the coffin drop onto Matt Hardy through the announcer's table. That's got to be the first time I can ever recall an announcer table spot in AEW, as we've seen so many of those in the WWE. But anyways, it was true to the ongoing feud between the performers involved, featured enough moments to warrant its placement on the card, and continued to spotlight Darby Allin as the one guy the company has truly made a breakout star since the inception of the company. Whereas others were known in promotion across the country, Allin was only starting to become a recognizable star on the indies before his big opportunity with AEW. He has made the most of it and continues to be one of the company's most reliable draws in these big Dynamite main events. Second best fight of the night, 3 3/4 to 4 stars. Great match. And MF, what about that ending? The first time ever I can ever recall an announcer table, the AEW announcers table on the stage there, getting destroyed. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that before.
No, it wasn't. This was the first time ever for the AEW, because normally the AEW announcer table is normally sacred ground. They never go down that way. They never go down that end of the area, and unfortunately for Excalibur, for Jim Ross, and for Tony Schiavone, you got a little too close to the fire there, boys, and unfortunately your table went bye-bye. So, yeah, at least it was them and not the Spanish announce table. There is a Spanish announce table somewhere in that area. I just don't remember what. I know it's near the crowd. It's like right where behind the where the plants or the fans are. It's in that side, in the other side of it. That's where they are, and unfortunately, thank God, they can't find that Spanish announce table. The secret announce table. It's kind of a nod, wink, wink. If you can't find us, because there's supposed to be some kind of. It's a funny behind the scenes of a being the elite. If you watch that episode, it's supposed to be top secret. You're not supposed to know that there's a Spanish announce table or a Spanish announce crew in AEW, but there is one. It's led by Dasha Fuentes, formerly Dasha Fuentes of WWE. I think it's Chris Van Platt is another guy who's a part of it, and there's one other person in the commentator room for the Spanish. And you don't hear much about him, so shh, don't say a word. So yeah, I mean, it was a good spot. 3 3/4 for me. Overall, great show. This was for the first time AEW on their own on Wednesday night, and they delivered. The 3 main event fights that they had were all deliverable. There was 2 matches that weren't really too great. The promo segment was fine. All in all, I say 8 out of 10. I could say 8 on the fringe of 8.5, but there were 2 matches that were wicked short that really didn't stand out. But the 3 main event matches that they had, the 3 matches that were highly publicized, that was promoted very heavily, that was amazing. And they hit the home run. There's really nothing more to add. Anthony, it is yours. And like you said, next week on AEW Dynamite, we have ourselves a humongous night. And it looks like it will be headlined by Conti versus Shida for the AEW Women's World Title.
And that match, I believe in my heart of hearts, should be the main event.
Should be the main event. It should. Absolutely.
It deserves it. No question. 8.5 out of 10 for me. Those 3 main events all were great. Throwing that solid women's match with Red Velvet and Jade Cargill. A couple of good promo segments here and there. But man, let me see, what else did I have here? But great show, no question about it. And it's so great that we're not going to be saying, oh, who won this, who won that. Yeah, no more Wednesday Night Wars. We're just going to review them as separate entities from now on, and which I think is great. So, but AEW, though, I mean, like I said, those 3 main events all delivered. The women, that Cargill and Velvet match was solid, and a couple of other solid developments, and really all I can say there. So I'm just about right there with you, MF, as far as that is concerned. It's going to be between 8, maybe 8.5 for this edition of AEW Dynamite. And next week, Hikaru Shida will be going up against Tay Conti. Christian Cage is going to go up against Powerhouse Will Hobbs. And we got 2 other matches that have been announced, both with potential to be something really good. Absolute Ricky Starks will go one-on-one with Hangman Adam Page. And Trent of the Best Friends is going to go one-on-one with Penta El Zero Miedo. So we got 4 incredible matches, all that have potential. But of course, MF, the one that we're all looking forward to the most. I mean, all four are great, but the one that we're all going to be looking forward to and talking about next week will no doubtably, and the match that we believe in our heart of hearts deserves to main event this show next week, Hikaru Shida and Tay Conti for the Women's Championship. Tony Khan, AEW, make that happen. On behalf of all of us, make that happen. They damn sure deserve it. Wrap it up, MF.
And with that said, we're gonna call it a good night here. Tomorrow night is Strictly Sports. We are back with a lot of stuff. We got some NFL news. Starting off with, unfortunately, Julian Edelman calling it a career. Knee injuries kind of derailed his career, but we're gonna go into that. We got some NCAA college hockey as UMass captures the title. They win for the first time ever in their school history. Then we also got the men's and women's NCAA Final Four. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the national championships. And I believe we also got some hockey news. There was some trades that happened during the week. We're gonna get into
NHL
that.
trades.
NHL trades as well. So we got a pretty decent show for you guys. It's been a little bit since we've done it because of the WrestleMania week. And if there's any other news, we'll add it to the docket next tomorrow, starting at 10:30 Eastern. As always, thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you guys as always. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. See you guys tomorrow night. And for all of us here, for Anthony Florio, I'm good old MF Michael Fletcher, saying so long, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night.